Okay, day 3. Anyway, the 23rd. So today we're going to the Kakadu National Park. We were supposed to go to the Fog Dam, but they changed the plan and added something else that was going to be interesting for us to go and see instead. On the way, we stopped at the Corroboree Park Tavern, and there's a legend about Brutus. And the legend goes that in 2006, they were doing some work around his enclosure, and he took exception to the chainsaw that the chap was using to trim down the trees, and lunged out of the water, snatching and running the chainsaw straight out of the worker's hands, and he chewed on it for about an hour and a half, and that's what they have hanging above the bar there. There were also some water buffaloes. There was supposed to be a couple of crocodiles that we could see. Could only just see one, couldn't see the other one at all. So then we carried on down and we went to the Warradjan Cultural Centre. So the whole building is actually shaped like a pig-nosed turtle, but I couldn't really see that, and I certainly wouldn't have known that if she hadn't have told me. The place was put together by the traditional owners to tell their stories on their own terms, and we had some time to wander around the exhibits and check out traditional hunting tools, weaving work, etc., and personal histories. So from there, we then moved on to the Yellow Water Billabong and its surrounding facilities, which operate under a unique co-managed model that balances Aboriginal communal land ownership, government oversight, and private commercial operations. It's neither purely government-owned or a standard private corporation. I can't pronounce the name of the traditional owners or what they traditionally called it, and I don't want to butcher it, so I won't give that a crack. It's a globally renowned landlocked wetland area situated at the southern end of the World Heritage listed Kakadu National Park, in the Northern Territory, obviously, part of the South Alligator River floodplain. It serves as an ecological sanctuary with diverse wildlife, dramatic monsoonal seasonal shifts, and has a deep Indigenous heritage. The area belongs to the Baninj Mungai people, who maintain a deep spiritual connection to that landscape. The traditional name translates to a central gathering place, and its history is closely detailed down the road at that cultural centre we just came from. It's famously packed with saltwater crocodiles and with massive apex predators measuring up to about 5 metres long. I don't know if we saw any that were 5 metres long. It also hosts about 1/3 of Australia's bird species, and sightings regularly include jabiruts, sea eagles, whistling kites, brogas, and jacanas, nicknamed the Jesus bird, for walking across the lily pads. The water's surface is densely blanketed by vibrant pink and white water lilies, framed by extensive paperbark forests and freshwater mangroves. The landscape is also frequented by wild brumbies, horses, and water buffalo that graze along the flood plains. However, the water buffalo cause severe wide-scale ecological and cultural damage across the northern tropical wetlands, including the Yellow Water and Kakadu regions. And because they're heavy, hard-hoofed animals introduced to a landscape adapted only to soft-footed native wildlife, their daily presence reshapes the entire ecosystem. So they cause quite a bit of damage. The waterway was beautiful just to travel down and see the flora and fauna, and you can even go fishing there. I think you're restricted on what fish you can actually catch, but people went up there in a speedboat, there they go, and we saw past somebody else who was fishing there. Obviously a local, not bothered by fishing with crocodiles. But it was really, really beautiful. Lots of really interesting birds. I noticed that the crocodiles camouflage really well. They can be very hard to find. But they're, really, really beautiful place, really peaceful place. Lots of beautiful wildlife there. You can see a croc there with a bird just above it. Not a lot of trees there. There he is. The next place we moved on to is the rock art, Nourlangle rock art. So we had a guide for this part of our trip, and walking through the massive sandstone galleries on your own is cool, but having her with us really helped point out the details and tell us the stories and explain the rock art that we were seeing. And so that completely changes the experience and is well worth the time to do that. So our guide shared the stories behind the paintings that have been there for thousands of years, like Namakon, the lightning man. Namakon, also spelled Warradjan, is a powerful ancestral creator spirit in the mythology of the Kinwinjku and Beninj people, I'm sorry if I butcher those, of Western Arnhem Land and the Kakadu National Park in Northern Australia. He's the master of lightning, thunder, and the violent monsoonal storms of the tropical wet season. He has stone axes attached to his knees, elbows, and head, and he creates thunder by striking these axes against clouds or rocks. Bright arcs of lightning flash from his body and head, powered by electrical circuits running through his form. His children are the bright allure, which is the grasshoppers, which emerge during the pre-monsoon build-up to call out to their father to bring the storms. So it was really interesting as our guide was explaining the connection between the flora and fauna and their understanding of the seasons. If certain things happen at certain times, they know what the wet season is going to be like. If the termites build their holes, make their holes not so low to the ground, they know that it's going to be rainy. Well, how do the termites know it's going to be rainy and not build their holes so close to the ground? It's quite extraordinary. There is these depressions in the rock that she pointed out are used to grind up colours for the rock art. A hand in rock art means it's a safe place to stay and sleep there. And if it's not there, it's not safe to stay there. So it was a fascinating trip and a fascinating day. And I really enjoyed it. And then we went out for dinner that night.